Hey friends, what's up? Phillip here with Points of Phillip, and well, there's some interesting news going on, or at least rumors that everyone is talking about, and I'm sure I don't even really have to mention it or bring it up or tell you what I'm talking about, but anyway, let's get into it. Chase has a rumored update to the Sapphire Reserve, so their top level card. And so this card here is really interesting if it ends up being how we think it's going to go down. And so some of these rumors tend to be true. Some of these rumors tend to not be true. We will see. So let's see. So let's take a look at what's going on. So the rumor here is going around Reddit and other threads discussing a possible update to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So this is a rumor on Reddit, but it sounds like it could be true. So let's talk about it. So some people say an upcoming update has been confirmed by Chase reps in some conversations. Like they've confirmed that there is an update coming, which everyone kind of expects. It's been a while since the Chase Sapphire Reserve has been updated. So that kind of makes sense. Now, what's going on? So first of all, the top line, I guess you can take a look at is the annual fee is going to increase from $550 to $795. Now, $795 is more than most other premium travel cards are, at least right now. And so that could change in the future. And it seems like Chase is getting ready for that change. Now, also, there's going to be a change in the cost for authorized user cards. So currently, it's $75 for every authorized user on the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And that will go up to $195, which is pound for pound a match of the current authorized user fee for the American Express Platinum card. So it's definitely not unheard of for this kind of card, but it's a bold choice. So there will be some significant changes as well, and a huge increase in the coupons that are available on this card. So let's take a look first of all, before we get into the depths of what this card could be according to the rumors, let's get into what is the current card like. So right now, today, if you're, unless you're a time traveler from the future, the current iteration of the Chase Sapphire Reserve is, again, $550 a year, $75 for each authorized user. With that, though, you get a $300 annual travel credit. That is actually pretty easy to use. So this is actually something where you actually purchase something in the travel portal, and then basically you get that refunded back to you. And so it's relatively pretty easy to use. Now, you also get 1.5 cents per point when you redeem your Chase points through the travel portal, so that is nice. Now, you also get 5x back on air travel and 10x back on hotels and cars through the portal, the travel portal. You also get 3 points per dollar back on every other travel purchase, as well as 10x on Chase Dining. So it's a special dining program, very similar to like Built Dining or JetBlue Dining, things like that. Now there's also 3x on other dining as well. So either 3x for regular dining or 10x if it's part of Chase Dining, and then you get 1x on everything else. So it's kind of a simple card. Now it's pretty straightforward. The $300 travel credit gets up a lot of that annual fee every year. And so in addition to that, you also have access to, Priority Pass Select, which includes unlimited access to Chase Sapphire Reserve lounges. And now there's a limited number of those, but they're kind of increasing. And so that's nice as well. So let's take a look at the rumor again. So the rumor here is the 10x Chase travel multiplier will go down to 8x, or 8 points per dollar. The 5x Chase travel flights is going to also increase to 8x, so 8 points per dollar. So most of the travel categories are going to go to 8x. So that some of them are coming down, some of them are going up, but they're all going to meet at 8x. Now, they're also, so if you're buying directly with airfare or hotels, so not in the Chase travel portal, that is going to go from 3x to 4x. So 4 points per dollar on hotel purchases and airfare purchases purchased directly with that provider. So if you're buying Delta tickets, if you're buying Hyatt hotel stays, then that's actually going to be perfect for you, because it's going to go from 3x to 4x, and that can be compelling. Now, other travel, so any other travel is going to be reduced though. So from 3 points per dollar to 1 point per dollar. So if you're going from for like Airbnbs or Verbo or something like that, then that's going to go from 3 points per dollar to 1 point per dollar. So this is no longer going to be the card for that kind of purchase. Now, there's also going to be a ton of coupons. Let's get into it on a list. I'm going to put the list on the screen too, so you can kind of read along with me. Now, so the coupons here, first of all, there's going to be a $500 credit for the edit. So the edit credit, and that's going to be $250 semi-annually. So that's going to be for hotels and things like that. Now, there's also additionally going to be a $300 dining credit via Sapphire Reserve tables. And that's going to be $150 semi-annually, so every 6 months, $150. Works probably going to be similar to the current American Express Gold Cards Resi credit. Now, there's also going to be a $300 StubHub credit. That's also going to be $150 semi-annually. And then there's going to be a $300 DoorDash credit, except that's going to be $25 a month. There's also going to be a $120 DoorDash membership. That's currently on the card. It will continue according to this rumor. Then there's also going to be $250 towards Apple TV Plus and Apple Music purchases. So that's going to be interesting. Now, another thing that's going to be carried over from before is the Lyft credit. That's going to be $120, $10 a month. There's also going to be a $120 Peloton credit, and that's going to be $10 a month as well, although I don't really know how much use we can get out of that. Now the 3x dining is going to carry over as well, and the 300 travel credit looks like it's going to stay about the same as it currently is, and then the same TSA PreCheck global entry credit as well. Now, an interesting thing here is that if you spend $75,000 on this card, at least according to the published rumor, you could get a $500 Southwest credit, and so that could be an interesting way to motivate people to spend money on this card. There's also been a mention of Southwest tier status with the card as well, either A-list or A-list preferred. And so, we'll see what happens with that. So now that's a lot, right? So how much value? So if you take everything at face value and you stack it all up, that's $2,830 per year. If you include the Southwest credit, right? Now, it's going to cost $795 a year plus the authorized user charge of $195. And so it remains unclear what kind of benefits the authorized user card gets, usually additionally lounge access and some kind of like reward program access and things like that. We'll see what happens with that. Now, are the credits any good, right? So you can say that you can save $2,800 a year, right? But is it easy to use? So the DoorDash credit appears to be very easy to use. It's one of my favorite delivery apps, right? Now the travel credit also appears to be just as easy to use as it currently is, which is kind of nice. DoorDash membership is going to be easy to use as well. Apple Music could be easy. I'm a Spotify person myself, but my wife is Apple Music, so that could be nice as well. So we will have to see how the StubHub credit works. That could be interesting. A lot of people do buy tickets, and that could be something that could be kind of a shot across the bow too, with the proposed or the rumored Capital One Saver X that has a lot of entertainment going on there. And the dining credits. There's a lot of dining credits that we need to figure out if we can get any use out of. Like, how is this Chase Sapphire Reserve tables? How is that going to go, right? Is this going to be easy to get value from? That's going to be a question. So the edit credit could also be interesting as well. Again, we're not really sure how that's going to work. We'll have to see, right? And so this is going to be a waiting game if this card even happens, right? So who are they going up against? What is this card for, right? So this card is going up. It's a clear shot across the bow of the American Express Platinum card. So the current annual fee on the Platinum card is $695 now. So that's going to be a little bit under what it currently is. However, it's widely expected that the Platinum is going to be refreshed and is going to have an increased annual fee, and the coupons are going to be kind of significantly altered either this year or into 2026. So currently this card has 5 points per dollar on flights. So any flights either through the portal or through directly, right? It also gets 5 points per dollar on hotels through the portal, and then 1 point per dollar on everything else. So kind of weaker on the multipliers, right? So this also has a $240 entertainment credit. That's $20 monthly. $200 hotel credit. That's throughout the year. $200 airline fee credit. That's also throughout the year, but you have to pick and choose which airline you're going to use that with. $200 in Uber cash. So that is usually $15 a month, except for December where it goes up to round everything out. And then we get Walmart Plus, the Clear credit, and there's also other credits like the Equinox credit and the Saks credit, which nobody really gets much value from, so I'm not going to mention it here. Now, can Chase win? That is the question. So they're really leaning into the luxury travel card because, well, being able to earn more points with hotels, with airfare, that's good, right? Being able to solidify, say, 8 points per dollar on anything through the portal is good for the brand, right? It's going to be less good if you're someone who has been booking rental cars through the portal up until this point and getting that 10 points per dollar. But 8 points is certainly better than anything else that Amex has, right? If you want a rental car, kind of out of luck, right? So that can be important to know. So, so Chase is also leaning into the lifestyle card business model, right? DoorDash is my preferred delivery service, so that is nice for me. StubHub is widely used for tickets, and other travel and dining credits appear to be easy to use as well. And then the fact that this card has a dining multiplier is going to be helpful, right? So that means, in order to get the dining multiplier with American Express, you also have to have the American Express Gold card. And the American Express Gold card has a $325 annual fee. So when you take the $695 of the annual fee of the Platinum plus the $325 of the annual fee for the Gold, well, that gets to be pretty expensive. And the fact that Chase has the dining category on the travel card, well, that can be helpful. Now, also 8x is compelling, right? So all of those multipliers are nice. Now, what's going to happen? Ultimately, this is up to Amex, right? So if this rumor is true, Chase has thrown down the gauntlet, right? This is a card that is trying to be competitive in a meaningful way, right? In this premium space, because unfortunately, the consumer has told these big banks that, subscription models are good, right? That we are willing to buy apps to help us track all of these coupons, right? And another thing too, honestly, is these banks are incentivized to make these coupon cards as difficult to navigate as possible because they know that there's a limit on how many of these coupon books people can carry in their wallets. And so if there's a limit, hopefully if they make theirs more compelling than anyone else's, they will be the ones that stay in your wallet from day to day, and then everyone else's gets canceled. And so this is going to be a real competition. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, it's up to Amex to wow us with their offering. So it's widely expected that the Platinum will be increased or will be refreshed, rather, in the marketing parlance, right? So either way, we're going to have increased competition. But the fact of the matter is these credit cards are going to continuously become vastly more complicated and difficult to draw value from as time progresses. So I guess time will tell if this is good for the consumer or bad for the consumer. The fact that these banks are really kind of going head to head against each other in order to help get more people sign up for their cards. But also it is going to be more difficult. There's going to be a lot more breakage where people are spending money on this card, on this annual fee, and they're not getting anything back out of it. So it could be bad, it could be good. We'll see. But the question is, will this new rumored Chase Sapphire Reserve kind of put the American Express Platinum card in its place? It's American Express's move, and we're going to see how that goes. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me on this little discussion here, and I hope I get to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.